Hello there again. This is Matt Miller here at Matt Miller Coaching. I wanted to talk a little bit about a concept we call don't hide your talents. And I actually heard this from a minister, and the minister was talking about a scenario in which he had done some pastoral counseling with a couple. I want to talk about someone, let's say a scenario that I have experienced with a client of mine, a coaching client. And what had happened is this particular client had made a mistake as a professional. He had made a mistake that would be considered borderline unethical, definitely would be questionable from a professionalism standpoint. I guess it depends on how you view it, but he made the mistake of having a romance blossom inside the business in which he was the authority figure with someone who was not in a position of authority, actually underneath his authority. So one thing led to another, and this particular guy that I'm talking about ultimately was found out, the romance was exposed, and both people lost their jobs. Now, the romance didn't last, the relationship didn't last, but the shrapnel from that metaphorical bomb was definitely something that the shrapnel was something that was hard to remove. So there was some PTSD, if you will, some post-traumatic stress. And we talk about don't hide your talents in situations like this. So this is an approach that actually was very effective in helping this gentleman kind of make a comeback and really not just survive but begin to thrive again, which is more of a positive psychology concept here. And I want to just share this with you. Don't hide your talents. If you've made a mistake like this gentleman did, you may find yourself starting to kind of shrink yourself instead of blossoming when there are opportunities for you to use your talents. I used to work with a guy who would say, "Don't miss your blessing, Matt Miller." You know, he would say, "I'm not going to miss my blessing." And I think about hiding your talents as really causing people to miss out on a blessing. In fact, if I don't share my talents, if I don't share my skill sets, then there are people in the world, and we're not speaking like some narcissist who believes that everyone depends on their greatness. What I am saying is, if I'm really good at something, but I've made a mistake, it's understandable to feel uncomfortable, to be insecure because you've made a decision that ended up backfiring on you. But one thing that really is important is that I get a sense of accomplishment when I share my talents, and then I get feedback. And this minister that was talking about hiding your talents, he actually made the point of, and I think he was talking about himself, to be honest with you. He said he made the point that he would, while he was quote unquote hiding his talents, he would worry that when he got up in front of people to speak again, that he wouldn't be able to reach all the people in the crowd like he once did. So there's an irrational belief that before he made the mistake, how does he know he was reaching everyone? We know not everyone's receptive, and it's really only when the student is ready does the teacher appear anyway. But then he said he had this excuse, and so did this guy that I worked with. The excuse was, well, there'll be some hecklers in the crowd who remember and will bring up what I did and will shoot me down and cause me to lose face And I would rather save face and hide my talents and shrink myself and be okay and just be glad that I'm just doing enough. This is some kind of punishment that I have to deal with. Hiding your talents keeps you from experiencing the joy and the confidence-building effects of accomplishment. When you hide your talents because you're worried about the hecklers, then maybe we're handing our power over to a minority instead of seeing the beautiful consequences that are still waiting on us. If you've made a mistake in your life like I have and like we will make, I recommend that you don't hide your talents, that you let those hecklers in the crowd, the hecklers in your life, the people who find joy, unfortunately, they find joy and happiness in other people's misery. Understand that if you're only speaking to keep them happy, we've got a whole nother conversation we probably need to have. But when it comes to allowing fear to keep us trapped where we hide our talents, understand that all it takes is you stepping out on faith with great preparation and planning. Step out on faith. Know that because you once were good doesn't mean that you're still going to be good, but maybe you'll be great. And if you're not as good, it's maybe only because you've been out of practice and you've been hiding your talents. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this spoke to someone. And I thank God for the clients that have come in and taught me so much about people. What a blessing that they didn't hide their talents with me. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you next time.